Hello, and welcome to my universe. So, let's see how far we get with the background today. I've been looking at this for a while, and there has been something off about certain aspects of the lighting that I just have been having a hard time placing. And, you know, these things happen. So I think that I just need to... While I do think that lowering the saturation of the pink light there was a good idea, it was a little bit too much before. I think I made it a little bit too dark. Or maybe I just need to make it a bit lighter in order to kind of compensate for it being less pink. I'm not sure. So I figured that first thing we do today is just to get some of those colors back, or, you know, color wrong word, just some of the lights back. Also, the lights in my room are spazzing out like super hard today. I'm not sure what's up with the electrical, but it looks like my model tracking's fine, but occasionally they do flash. It is a little bit distracting, I must admit. So, if I seem a little bit distracted, that's why. Look, it's concerning when stuff in your house suddenly breaks and you're just not quite sure how to fix it. Okay, and then looking at this, I think I'm just gonna have to use a different color on the white. So on all the white spots. So I'm thinking about how I want to tackle that. I think I know of a good way to do it. So I'm gonna get the area by her face and hair all right first. Or do I like the color on the white right now? It is okay. Okay, in that case, I'll just adjust it like I was thinking. So, I'm basically just going to select everything that I want to change the color on. Although, no, that's really not going to work, is it? I was thinking if I could just use selections to get everything, then perhaps I could just change the colors there and it would work out. But I know that the second I select this hair here, I'm going to start changing the color of the sleeve. That's rough. Okay, I'm just gonna have to pull some shenanigans, it's fine. I'm gonna have to use two light colors here. Because this one needs to be much... The stuff by her face needs to be much brighter, it just does. But when I get the colors like there, right, you can see all of the detail in the sleeve goes away. The hand is starting to just be completely blown out and things like that. It just doesn't play nice with the white of her clothes. So, I'm just gonna have to change some colors. It's all good. But first, I'm just gonna get everything around her head looking the way I want. I don't want it to be too strongly pink, but I do want it to be very bright. Just need to find the right balance. I think somewhere around there might be good. Okay. Now I'm going to take this color just so I don't lose it. And I'm going to go back to the colors as they were before. And now I'm going to try to find an ideal color for the white parts here. So I'm going to pay attention to mostly to this sleeve, a little bit on this sleeve, and this wing. Those are the big areas. Maybe the veil to an extent. And I am going to find the perfect color for that now. Because I actually think it would be good for that color to be a little darker and a little brighter. Maybe not that dark. Perhaps somewhere right around here. Okay. So I'll leave that there. We'll bring it in here, and if you look in my color picker up there, you can see the colors are a little different. And all I can really do is lock the layer here and then color in the parts that I want to be the brighter color. So because the layer is locked, I don't really have to worry about adding any new light parts, so I can just go in and focus on getting these colors the way that I want them to be. But yeah, I don't know, lighting wasn't quite working for me. And the lighting on the character is just so important that I think it's worth going through and making sure it is just right. Alright, I can't do that. There we go. Yes, no eraser here. Anytime I want to touch up the color on the other side, I gotta go in and use the other color. Okay. So this brighter one is going to be for anything not white. Let's see here. So let's go find the forehead jewel there, because I would like for these little bits of metal there to be this color. Let's see, where was I? All right, the trim, I think I would also like to be the lighter color. And oh, what happened here? I don't know, man, but it definitely should not be like that. All right, well, let's fix that while I'm here. Right, I have the layer locked. I gotta unlock it if I want to add a few more colors. There we go. As always, it's like, if I see a problem, I'll just go ahead and fix it as I see it. Yeah, and there's a spot here that did not get colored properly. Man. Pass Elf, what were you doing? Okay, and I know that I already have everything properly lit here, so anything that should have these colors in there will already be cleaned up there, and it'll be a fairly straightforward just go and color things, at least in theory. So, but I'll still use my selections and stuff where it's convenient. And yeah, there are a few areas that I see just did not quite get colored properly. How unfortunate. Oh, that's alright. I can go ahead and fix them now. So I actually do think I want that whole braid to be in light there. And I'm guessing that some of this just got erased when I was getting rid of some of the color there. And I just never fixed it. How very awkward. Well, it's all good. These things do happen. But I have noticed it, so I'll just go ahead and fix it now. And I'll just make sure that everything is looking the way I want here. And then we can go on to working on the background. I think that'll be nice to work on for today. I'm having one of those days where I have just been struggling to get started on anything art, because, you know, before stream, I do tend to try to get some of my off-stream drawings done. And I did manage to do a lot of drawing, but oh man, was it a struggle. Sometimes This is one of those days where I'm just asking my brain, you know, why are you like this? Why can't you just... Oh, man. Wish I knew it was up the light. It's, making the tracking of my eyes super wonky. Anyway. But yeah, it's like... I just have to ask myself, you know, why are you like this? I wish you'd work with me. It'd be great. But sometimes the drawing just does not come out, and it is deeply, deeply unfortunate. So here's hoping that at least on stream things go a little bit. I don't even think what I drew is necessarily bad or anything. It's just I kind of had to force it to make it happen. And doing that just always feels a little bit sad. Is my layer not locked right now? It is not. Here we go. Okay, I've already gotten all of this. I have. Nice. Alright, so we're good there. I'll go ahead and finish off just all the little things on her head before I move down to her clothes. Let's see, so that'll be this guy. This guy should definitely be a little brighter. I think this one actually looks okay with the darker color, so I'm just going to leave that there. And trim here. I don't really want to hit the one in the back. I kind of like that part being a little darker. And I don't want to hit the wings. So unfortunately, selecting this one is not helping me as much as it could. Life is hard. Yeah. So I'm just going to have to be careful through here. But I do think, for the sake of fixing up some of the lighting, I do think it is worth. I do think the lighting kind of makes this one, so I want it to be just right. Just right. Hello there, Shinora. Welcome back. Today I am fixing up some lights, and then it is time to draw the background of this one. I think this one is going to be done pretty soon. I'm always concerned that I always seem to be finishing my drawings at roughly the same time. I need to stagger them out a little bit. Sounds cozy. Okay. Well, now I suppose you can watch some stuff together. Enjoy. Do you not like to watch the same things that she does? Because you could potentially watch that together too. I should try to find some stuff to watch with my kids sometimes. I've tried a few times, but they just don't have much interest. And generally, when I try to put something else on, they just want to put what they were watching before back on. So, you know, I just let them. It's fine. kind of the same way there. I've tried to watch a lot of the stuff that they like, but right now that they've just been way too much into YouTube content farm slop, and I cannot tolerate it. Oh man. I have learned more about that side of YouTube than I have ever wanted to know. And I as a content creator myself, I don't understand how people can feel okay putting stuff out there, or putting stuff like that out there. But then, you know, it's easy to understand when it's obvious that it's just a low effort money grab, and like, that's fine. It's unfortunate. I think our kids deserve better media, but at the same time, it's like, if it's what they want to watch, it's what they want to watch. It is what it is. I can encourage other things, but they really like some of it. So, there you go. Need to get them to watch more Team Umizoomi or something. I liked that one. Look, sometimes the state of media just gets me a little bit sad because, how should I say it? Well, it's like if people didn't watch it, it wouldn't get made anymore because it wouldn't make any money, so there you go. Only so much you can do there. Like, if more people stopped watching low-effort slop, then less of it would be made. Although I think even that's only half true. Hello there, Kuhaku. Welcome back. It's one of those things that's kind of funny to think about, because... how should I say? I'm pretty sure the majority of movies made don't actually make money. Oh, thank you very much. Right now, I'm just kind of fixing up some lighting. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the majority of movies don't actually make money. And so they keep getting made for other reasons. I'm not quite sure I understand, but this is my current understanding of things. So, admittedly, I'm not quite sure how to increase the quality of media out there. I wish I had a better idea of these things. And I kind of feel like all I can do is try to increase the quality of what I make. So, I do try to do that. Always a case of doing my best. And maybe some part of me hopes that someday people will be more selective with what they watch and not give the slop the attention that it so clearly does not deserve. But I'm not sure if something like that will ever happen, if I'm being honest. This is where I say, you know, no hate watching. Don't hate watch things. It's not worth your time. Oh, cool. You should upload your stories to the internet so people can read them. There's lots of places where people can upload those kinds of things. So many places you can publish amateur writing now. It's fantastic. YouTube is good for that too, especially if you like record yourself reading it. Look, I was just talking about me being sad about the state of media, so I always want to encourage people that just want to go out and make things to just go do it. So, this way, hopefully there'll be more cool things in the world. It'll be fantastic. So I just say go for it. I've been thinking about recording myself reading some short stories. I have some ideas. I just haven't really had time to do it. It's just some classic public domain stuff. I was initially thinking about doing some Lovecraft. Some of Lovecraft's books, because, or stories, I guess they're short stories, not full books, but anyway, I eventually opted not to, just because he uses, racial slurs often enough that I'm afraid YouTube would get very upset with me. And I don't really like censoring books. So, I'll just have to pick a different author. A little bit unfortunate. Just as well, because I think stuff from the Cthulhu mythos would be very, very hard to read. How do you even pronounce half these words? They're supposed to represent unpronounceable words, I know, but... Reading is hard. But yeah, I'm still thinking about doing stuff like that at some point. But right now, I kind of want to get into a rhythm of posting art shorts a couple of times a week. So I'm kind of holding off on doing too much until I kind of get into the rhythm there. And I can, I don't know, get through it without feeling super taxed about it all. I see. Yeah, there's a lot of scary people out there. But I don't know. I still think it's worth publishing stuff. I mean, people, well, if it's good, people will steal your stuff. It is what it is. But I mean, the alternative is you keep it to yourself for all eternity. It never gets seen, and I just think that's too sad. People, you know, do the same with any kind of art. There is all kinds of stolen art out there on the internet. I've even seen like entire Redbubble shops just completely full of stolen art from games and stuff. I remember when I was still drawing a lot of Arknights fan art, I decided to go look to see what was on Redbubble for Arknights, and there were just entire accounts with official art from the game just plopped on there, and I'm just like, man. No. Not right now. Alright. Let's see, and I don't think I've made these ones lighter. I definitely want them to be. And I think that might be all of it. Because I think this on the wing still looks fine. Yeah, and I still think the balcony looks good. And yeah, I think she looks much better now. Her face is being much more lovely. framed nicely by her hair and stuff. And so I think she stands out a lot more than she did. Alright, so now that we're getting kind of into the background, I think I would actually like to make that sun just a little bit bigger. There we go. Just a little. I'm gonna let it go just a touch off screen too. Let's see, how is that? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I like it. Let's get that surrounding her face, and then I kind of like the way the wings are kind of going around her, and yeah, I think we're good. So now I can get into some of these mountains and stuff. Alright, good luck. So, I think the colors on them were fine. I don't think I'm going to do too much with this, but I do want to make sure that they are showing nicely. How exactly do I want to handle this compositionally? You know what, let's do some big picture things first, because there's something that's been bothering me for a few days, but I haven't really talked about it, because it hasn't been relevant, but I think that the rings going around this planet are way too bright. So it has its own special lights. And I think I'm just going to make the whole thing a little darker. I might cheat. And just plop a multiply layer here. And just blend it on in. Okay, this isn't the right color, but yes, making it darker is definitely helping. Let's find the right color. Hum. Okay. I need to zoom out really far in order to see this. This is a little bit too small, but like here is good. I think I want to keep this level of detail, which is why I'm doing it via multiply layer rather than just blending it all in with a soft brush. Okay. Where do I want to go with this? Because now when I'm looking at this, the ring is too bright, the planet is too dark. Life is hard. Okay, maybe in that case, what I want to do is not this, but I just want to alter the color of the rings a little bit. We'll make them a little darker here. Even if it doesn't necessarily completely match what's going on over here, it's better suited for the picture. And maybe instead of color dodge here, I should do like a... hard lighter screen. Okay. Yeah, I just gotta fix the lighting on this. I don't want it to draw quite so much attention to itself. It's just a little bit too much. But none of these colors are quite working for me. Life is hard. I guess what do I want to do with that? I want it to be kind of reflecting the light off the sun there. Drawing tablets, I know virtually nothing about them. I have had 2 my entire life. Both of them, Wacom. Art is very hard, yes. But it's a good time. And I would not say that I am a professional illustrator. I make no money off of what I'm doing. I just like drawing things. But for tablets, yeah, I know virtually nothing. If you want to save some money, I don't think you need a screen tablet. So the tablet doesn't need a screen. You can just hook it up to the computer. And it'll take some getting used to figure out how to use it. But once you do, it'll be fine. I personally, my tablet does not have a screen on it. I have never used screen tablets. In fact, I've been trying to get used to this laptop I got to let me draw, like when my kids are at the park or something, just, you know, something I could take with me rather than having to lug around my entire freaking desktop and stuff. Or this, you know, huge tablet that I have here. And it bothers me. It does a lot, because now my hand gets in the way every time I try to draw on it. And I'm used to being able to see the entire picture. The entire picture. And I cannot do that. I cannot do that with the place that I draw on being the same thing on the screen itself. That phrasing is awful. But yeah, when the screen and the surface that I draw on are the same, my hand gets in the way. And it's really obnoxious. And I really, really do not like it. So, I'm trying to get used to it. I haven't been trying so much lately because it's been cold, so I haven't been taking my kids places. But, yeah, personally it annoys me. Exactly. So, that's what I'm saying. If you want to save some money, don't feel like you gotta go for a screen tablet. I personally do not use one, and I probably never will. So you don't need it. And that's about all I know. Both of my tablets have been gifts, so I know very little about them. Like, Wacom is good, but I think most people know that already, so most of the time when people are asking about tablet recommendations, they mean less expensive ones that are not Wacom, but I have never used one, so I wouldn't know. Okay, I like this color. This color's kind of starting to blend into the sky a little bit better. It's nothing like using a mouse. I cannot imagine drawing with a mouse. But, the big difference between a drawing tablet and a mouse is pressure sensitivity. With a mouse, if I were to, I guess I'll just use this layer. So I have this brush. If I were to try to draw with the mouse, it is always on. It will always be this size. And if I do it with my tablet, look. I can change the size based on how hard I press with the pen. That is what you want the tablet for. The pressure sensitivity is the most important part. And should or no, I don't think you're nagging me, but you have to remember that I'm trying to put on a public show. I am a digital street performer, and this is not my Discord DMs. So if you're acting like you're talking to me one-on-one, I'm not going to respond to that. Because I need to talk to everyone. I don't mind answering direct questions, especially about art, because many people may have stuff like that. Or may have questions about stuff like that. And also, I'm an art streamer, so I like talking about art. But yes, my stream is not my Discord DMs, and I do not have personal conversations with people on my stream. And that will just always be true. Hello there, Tito. Welcome back. So, Yes, I would consider the pressure sensitivity to be the most important thing, but pretty much any drawing tablet's going to have that. I'm not sure, like, how many levels or stuff that you need. I've seen things advertised like that, and frankly, I have no idea. Oh, God. That sounds rough. I can't imagine drawing with a mouse. I'm never sure how obvious it is, but I draw with a brush, like, probably, like, 10 times the size of the surface that I actually expect to hit. And you can see, if you see the circle here, it's, a little bit bigger than this tier that I'm hovering over. But when I actually go to draw, it's much smaller. Because I rely on that pressure sensitivity so much. Dude, if you're able to draw with a mouse, you are going to zoom with the tablet. As much as I say, that the tools won't make you good, they do help. Yeah, I talk to everyone. I try to talk about things that I think will be interesting to everyone that watches. I do try very hard. I like to share just all the stuff that's in my head. Try to put on a nice show for people. Yes. I can see it. Yeah. Well, I don't think you need a fancy programs to draw well. The drawing programs don't help that much, but the tablet, yeah. I don't see how you could draw digitally without at least something. Man, I can't even imagine doing it without pressure sensitivity unless you're doing, like, strictly vector art. Because a lot of the vector-based programs have tools that let you manipulate shapes more easily, but for freehand drawing like this, nah. Get a tablet. I'm amazed you could even get far enough to color something with the mouse. Truly, that's very impressive. I don't think you necessarily need to get a super expensive one if you don't know if you're going to enjoy doing it, but if you already know you do, then it's a good thing to invest in. It'll help. I'm not sure what the difference between a lot of the expensive ones and the cheaper ones are. You'll just have to find reviews or maybe people that that are more knowledgeable about these things. Yeah. But I know that there's people out there that talk about the differences between a lot of these things a lot, so you should be able to find some good info out there if you look. It is just not something I am very knowledgeable about. Okay. There we go. I think that's good for the amount of mountains showing. Now I just gotta figure out how I want to light them. I don't think I want more than 2 colors here. I could probably add a third if I wanted, but I don't think I want to. We'll just add a couple more little areas hitting the light, I guess. Break it up a little. Make it look nice and rocky. I don't quite know how I want to break this up, but right now they don't look very mountainous to me. They look a little bit too pointy. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of break that up a bit. My god, the light behind me just keeps flickering. It is the worst. I don't know what's been up with my electrical lately, but I hope that my computer doesn't explode. That would be very unfortunate. I have never had problems before, but something is clearly going on. No. I'd say straight up, if you want to start doing anything, you don't need knowledge of anything at all. Literally, if you want to learn how to draw, I think the best thing you can do is just draw stuff. And yeah, that's about it. I think, will color theory make your colors better eventually? It's probably a good thing to have a general knowledge of at some point, but honestly, I don't even think studying color theory would help beginners that much. Just derp around for a while first. Basically, my philosophy when it comes to studying art is draw stuff, look at your picture, mark out what you like and what you don't like, and then on the next picture you draw, think about the stuff that you didn't like about the previous one, you know, like 1 or 2 things, tops. More than that will drive you nuts. Just pick 1 or 2 things that you want to work on, and then try to do it a little bit better in the next picture. If you reach a point where you have no idea what to do, you don't know what's wrong, that's when you go maybe look up some tutorials on how people have done this. But I'd say studying for the sake of studying will not help you. Study for the specific purpose of fixing a problem. And you'll go much further, I think. Because all you're gonna see if you study color theory is, okay, this is warm colors and this is cool colors. This is a complementary color scheme, a split complementary color scheme, a analogous color scheme. And having words for these things can be helpful if you need something to search for, but it's, I don't know, it's not super important. Admittedly, I never pay attention to these things because I have so much disk space, it's never been an issue. In fact, I just got another a pretty big drive for Christmas so that this way I can keep more videos on things. So, or more videos without having to delete things. I like Krita lots. It's okay. I think that people have different needs for their drawing programs. I'm not sure if other ones do size things better. Before Krita, I just used Photoshop, and I switched to Krita a while ago, and I never looked back. I've never felt the need to try a different one. So I'm not super experienced when it comes to drawing programs either. I don't think they matter that much. As long as they let you do the basic things, they respond to the pressure on your tablet, I think they're good. Do they have the hard round brush I like to use? It worked fine for me for a while. But, you know, I'm not picky when it comes to these things. The main problem I had with Photoshop was that I really did not like its airbrush. So, basically anything to do with soft brushes, if I wanted any kind of soft blending, nah, could not use the airbrush for it. I had to go hard on opacity brushes in order to blend things. So, now that was the big thing for me when I switched to Krita. I'm just like, holy cow, I love this. I love the airbrush. I love the way that it blends. I love the way that it looks. I can actually do things with it. It was very exciting. And yet here I am, not 90% of the time. I still just use my hard round brush, but... No, that's not true. Well, maybe it's close to true, but I use the airbrush a fair amount. It's very nice. The way I see it with art programs, you just kind of get used to one, and once you do, it's going to feel really weird to switch, because there's only going to be these little nuances that are a bit different, and it's going to feel weird, and, you know, take some getting used to. So that's why I say, you know, just pick one, and you'll probably be fine. It'll be great. It'll be a fantastic. Are you... Yes. Okay, you know what? No, I'd like you dark. Okay, yeah, mountains are looking pretty good. Nice and simple. And then I can go draw some clouds. Clouds are fun, because you can draw basically anything you want and it'll look like a cloud. Clouds are one place I just get to be very shapey with. And I do like my shapes. Trying to keep some of this lighter color by that hair because I think they look better next to each other than the darker color. Just little things like that. I said before, this is why I like stylization a lot, because then I can kind of just decide, hey, I like these colors next to each other arbitrarily, and draw it like that. I don't have to pretend to care about accuracy. Or, you know, I don't have to care about accuracy at all. I can focus more on whatever looks cool in the moment, and it'll be great. And I just realized that this is all wrong, so I'm gonna fix it. And that'll also be great. Yeah, this is not smoothed at all. I'm amazed that I left it like this, because it does not look good. Past self, what were you doing? Actually, I'm pretty sure my past self was rushing super hardcore to try to finish the balcony, so, you know, I should be a little bit less surprised. It's alright, past me, you were doing your best. It's alright, we'll fix it up right now. The other parts mostly look fine, though. It was really just on the little feet of these guys that I was not happy. There we go. That's much better. Much smoother. And I actually have all the spots filled in, and I don't even know what's going on here. Man, what the heck, Pastel? What were you doing? Let's fix it. Oh, thank you. It's actually really easy to do. You just do it in a couple of passes. I talk about it in detail on the episode that I did the hair in. I forget which one it is, but it's out there. I keep everything in playlists, so hopefully it'll be nice and easy to find. And I just drew them, one at a time, and did the general structure of the hair, trying to get the general shape of each braid here, get the deeper color into there. Then added extra strands and other stuff afterwards. Life gets much easier when you focus on the overall structure of things first. And you just don't care about the details for a while. Okay, there we go. That is much better. Now then, what was I doing? Mountains. Yeah, mountains. Where'd you go? There they are. Okay. Sure, we can have another little peek right here. Sounds good to me. This is one of those times where it was drawn by accident. There was just a random blob there, but I decided it looked good, so it got to live. Yes, I didn't feel the need to smooth it out and kill it. I just let it live. And so now we have an extra peak on the mountain. Honestly, I feel like a lot of things in nature are just the kind of thing where you can draw whatever you want, and as long as you use the correct shapes, it'll look fine. For mountains, that is lots of straight lines. Very rigid shapes. And then, now we're gonna move into the clouds, which is basically the opposite. Where the shapes that make them look good are, very round. And puffy. Cloud-like stuff. Okay, and I can see that I did not cover everything when I was derping around with this, so let's just color in some stuff real quick. Make sure I'm happy with where they're sitting. I'm not sure if I like this one going that high. Anyway, let's just color in some stuff for a second. Humu. Okay. This is where I have to decide where I want the clouds on this side to be. I think I remember from my past self saying that... How to say... I wanted the clouds to partially cover the planet. So I was like, okay, let's bring them up here. And now that they're up there, I don't know if I like it anymore. I think it's still good that they cover the planet, but I'm not sure if I like them being this much higher than the railing of the balcony. Random composition things. This is why I often tell beginners, just draw things and don't worry about it, because some of the stupid stuff that experienced artists think about won't make sense to beginners. Like, there's some little things that you can do pretty easily, like making sure that the characters are looking the right place. By default, I tend to just let them face the camera, because when you post it on the internet, they'll be able to make eye contact with the viewer, and people are more likely to interact with the post under those circumstances. But otherwise, you know, if they're interacting with something, like raising their hand up to let a butterfly go in their finger or something, then they should be looking at the butterfly, and you got to make sure that the eyes are pointing the right direction for that. But so, you know, little things like that can make a big difference. But I think part of the reason that artists can get very insecure about their work is because there's really no objective standard for good. And it's all really, really arbitrary. And it's hard to know if you're doing a good job or not. And sometimes you'll just go look at your work and be like, my God, this looks terrible. Or be in a state where I'm in right now, where I just hate everything that I draw. I actually don't mean this in a super negative way, even though it sounds negative. But as you start getting better, you're just gonna hate everything for a while. It is what it is, because you're in a state where you notice more problems than you're able to fix. So I do think that trying to get good at art is basically signing yourself up for complete madness. I think it's worth it though, so I definitely keep going. Just be ready to go slightly crazy. Just look at like every artist in history. They're all slightly crazy, and there's a reason for it. I think only part of it is general disposition and treatment. Some of it is, I literally think it just comes with the territory. If you're gonna look at something, you don't feel like the expression is quite right, there's something wrong, but you don't know what it is. And, oh man, it gets to you sometimes. It's rough out there. There is nothing quite like having a breakthrough, so. Or being able to put the things out in your mind, out there in the world. I don't know, how do I feel about these clouds right now? I think I want more light just right there. No, I want the hand to stand out a bit more, so I need this part to be dark. Okay, so this part's gonna be dark. At this point, I'm basically shaping the entire background structure to emphasize the parts of Leia here that I want emphasized, and that's gonna be her face and her hand. These two things. And with the way I have it set up, I'm kind of hoping that people look here first. If I think I have a rule of thirds guide on this. Yeah, I do. So if I turn this back on, why are you, Alfred? There it goes. You can see that her face is at the cross here. I think her eye used to be there, but this is close enough. It's fine. And then her hand is at another one. So those are places where it's good to put focal points. It's weird art magic. Where's my clouds? There they are. And then, so we got the nice circle around her head, and then she's also framed by her wings, going kind of between the... There's a triangle here, basically. Triangles are fantastic. They can do a lot of things, and there's stuff like that happening. And so there's a little bit of movement here, and I use the curtains to kind of keep that same moving going. This is one of those really subtle things, but you can see if I take them away, the movement is not quite as strong. So I put the curtains in to, once again, bring the triangle back in. And you can see, even the planet is pointing toward her hand. Even the planet wants to go shake her hand. Art is super arbitrary. And this is where I just think that the people that think that they can get good at art by studying are kind of funny. Because there's no way that you can keep this much information in your head. It will be an eternal struggle. But if you draw a lot of things and you ask yourself, okay, why does this picture that I like, drawn by this guy over here, succeed in making, I don't know, the girl look cute, whereas mine does not? Then you can kind of start analyzing things, and you can draw more pictures. And, you can find your own answers. And if you really get stuck, then you can go look up some tutorials, and they can give you some proper theory. My ultimate discovery with this was, it was such a long time ago. But I have never heard a person that went to art school say that it was worth the cost of admission. And art school is basically where rich people go to network. And then that's because there's really no right answer. So there is theory out there that can help you. I do think art can be taught. But I also think it's better if you just try to understand yourself and why you're trying to make things. And then go make them. You'll get better so much faster than spending hours reading YouTube tutorials or something. Even if the people on YouTube actually knew what they were talking about. This is why I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about, it's fine. I actually searched for a pretty long time when I was trying to learn how to write. Okay, how do I do this? How do I make it happen? And eventually I just realized, oh, it's black magic! All I can do is write the thing! Oh no! But it was a good revelation, and now I'm writing the thing, instead of wasting my time trying to find someone that can give me all the answers, because there's no answers out there to give, I'm sorry to say. And if you want to spend money on art stuff, or art education, I guess, I think finding an artist to critique your work would be 10 times more effective than buying an art course. This is why my advice to beginners will always be draw a thing, look at it, try to outline what you like and what you don't like. Make sure you do both for each one. And the art that you think is really, really good, make sure you find problems with it. You can give yourself a week before you look at it again if you're just super happy with it. But make sure you find some problems. And on the ones that you really, really hate, make sure you find something good. Even if you have to stretch a little bit. Because both are really, really important. You want to keep doing the things that you're doing right. And then when it comes to problems, you know, that's where you can try to do a little bit better in the next one. Yeah, let's de-emphasize this just a little. I don't know what I want to do with the clouds over here, though. They probably don't matter very much. I can probably keep most of them pretty dark, as long as the ones over here are nice and puffy. But these don't look like clouds right now. You know what? I'm gonna hide Leia for a second. Alright, friend. Leia and balcony, back up for a second so this way I can make some stuff look like clouds. Thank you very much. Oh man, I remember growing up. I got Photoshop for Christmas one year, and I started derping around with it, and I had a couple of friends that thought that I was really, really good at making forum signatures. Any of you remember forums? I like forums. I don't like Discord or, you know, any of these things. I like forums. I liked it better before there were algorithms that tried to shove what you wanted to see in your face, or what they wanted you to see in your face. Anyway, but yes, my friends thought I was really good at making forum signatures and avatars and stuff. And so one of my friends got Photoshop, and he asked me, "Okay, can you teach me how to use Photoshop? Or rather, I want to learn Photoshop. What should I do?" And I said, "Play. Just go find a function that you think looks cool. Go press all the buttons and see what happens." And he got really mad at me. But unironically, I think that's what you gotta do. It is playtime all the time. Alright, so we got clouds here, and I think they actually look better than I thought they did. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, I think I can go smooth this out a bit. I too hope that someday I can figure out the right magic formula for the types of stories I want to write. I have been trying very hard. I'd really like to try writing some short stories and stuff. But I haven't had any ideas, so I haven't done it yet. So I've just been working on my comic script. But I really would like to try writing some shorter stories someday. No, that's too small. I want to keep the shapes big. There we go. I would. Make a video of reading them. Sounds great. I had a bit of an existential crisis last year. Kinda since... Man, it's been really long. It's ongoing, and I think it's just gonna be that way for a while. Let me see. When did it start? I want to say it started going really hard, kind of summer of last year. Where, for a long time, I was actually really comfortable with where I was with my art. And I thought everything was pretty okay. And then all of a sudden, I started wanting to do new things. And suddenly, I felt like I couldn't do anything anymore. And it just hit me all at once. Like, I wanted to... I started taking my streams a little bit more seriously. I wanted to be able to draw more stuff there. I wanted to draw a comic, and all of this required significantly more speed than what I had. I was looking at some of my old art there, and I thought that stylistically a lot of it was really weak, and that I could have gone harder with things, so I was just no longer satisfied with how it looked. And it was rough. That's why I say it's ongoing. And of course, I kind of want to write stories and stuff. And prior to that, I largely just did some forum role-playing stuff, so collaborative writing, which is closer to improv than actually trying to wrangle an actual story together. And suddenly, I just felt like I couldn't do anything anymore, and I had no idea what happened. It felt really bad. And then I realized, oh, this is just how it feels to want to get good. It has been such a long time since I've been in that state that I had forgotten the feeling, and then I was like, oh, okay. Don't worry about it, Braid. It'll be fine. You felt some of this, like, 10 years ago. It's all good. And then eventually you'll get back into a stable place where you like everything again, and you'll just want to draw all the time, and you'll just want to write all the stories, and it'll be great. And you'll feel like you can do anything. In order to get there, I kind of got to go through the madness period. It's fine. Suffer more, make better art. It'll be great. I was just talking about this yesterday, but I unironically think that great art comes from great mental distress, and if you have it too good, you're not going to make good art. And I unironically think that it is quite possibly why the quality of modern media has gone down a bit. Because a lot of the people that get into writing lead writing roles and stuff are nepo hires at this point, and probably have not suffered nearly enough. So they just can't get the emotion out, and it all feels very shallow. That's where you gotta go out, live, break your heart a lot. Have a major crash out, it'll be wonderful. Stress about it, hate everything you draw. And get comfortable with it. Because it's gonna happen. Unless you do nothing to challenge yourself and you're comfortable with where you're at and you never want to start growing again, it's probably gonna happen every few years. It'll be great. I don't think it's something to be feared. For me, it's just... Ah, yes. Hello, friend. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, and that's all good. So, sometimes when I go on a random rant, I kind of forget what I'm actually doing with my hand here, and I can care way more about the details for things than I need to. One of the major reasons why I don't think I will ever draw very quickly on stream. I'm already very prone to fixating on details, but doing this it just makes it worse, like tenfold. Okay. Those are looking cloudy. Looking at this, I'm pretty sure that I will have this done Thursday. I'll be very surprised if I need until Sunday, and I've been kind of looking forward to the next thing that I've been planning on drawing, so I guess I should actually prepare for that, because I do need to prepare for some references. Very exciting. I'm glad I did this one first, though, because I just wanted to draw some space. Space is fantastic, and the fact that I had not drawn anything in outer space since starting this channel was an absolute travesty, so I had to rectify that immediately. Very, very important. So, I could not hold off on that. Alright, there we go. I don't think I need to add too many more little squiggles in here. This amount should be okay. I do kind of want to neaten up the ones that I drew, though. Yeah, it should be fine. That looks pretty cloud-like. I think I can be happy with that. Let's go do the other side. It's always funny to me of just when I start getting closer to the end, where I can spend hours upon hours just getting the character just right. And then suddenly it's time to draw all the things in the background, and I'm just like, we're good. All is well. Basically anything I draw works. It's all good. That's why, once the character is done, sometimes I feel like I finish it very suddenly. the whole picture. Sometimes it really does feel just very sudden to me, because I just don't have to do as much for the rest. It's all very, very straightforward. I just want to make this look like a nice sea of clouds. So I'm kind of making the shape for the clouds somewhere between waves and clouds. I almost kind of want to make it look like you're standing over the ocean. I like the ocean. I should draw some ocean scenes too. Clearly, that's why I was struggling with art this morning. I just need to draw more of these things that I feel like doing, and I should stop thinking so hard. I actually keep telling myself that a lot, where, the conflict that's going on in my head right now is I am a massive tryhard with no chill. Enough so that sometimes it causes problems in my personal life, but, sometimes I do genuinely feel like when it comes to art that I try a little bit too hard, and I have been wondering if one aspect that would actually improve my art a lot is not thinking about it so much. It sounds really weird to say, especially considering that I do believe that a lot of what we call improvement is just making decisions that we used to make subconsciously and pulling that into your conscience. Or conscious, not conscience. Sorry. Pulling it into your conscious mind so that you can think about it and make deliberate decisions instead of subconscious ones. And now I'm also just like, sometimes I do think I might just try a little bit too hard. To the point that it is detrimental to the stuff that I work on. Like, well, what's a good example? I can't think of one right now. It's fine. But, it does happen sometimes. Alright, there we go. Those are some nice clouds. I think they're doing what I want, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Let's get this, planet's rings. Oh yeah, I can't think of a good example right now, but it is something that I think about a lot. Or maybe I should just let the ideas flow a little bit more smoothly instead of trying to stop them and control them. Go with what feels a little bit more natural to me. It's hard to say. Honestly, I think that the answer is probably that I need to do a little bit of both. Think more about things and think less about things. Because art is inherently contradictory and makes no sense, so it's all good. What does this look like? Yeah, it's just a circle. For some reason, this also reminds me, I've been reading a lot of Taoist philosophy, which is probably why I'm thinking about some of those things. And I always just think it's wild that they describe water as gentle. Water is terrifying. I swear, you know, these ancient Chinese people have never seen white water rapids. Because, oh man, you see it once and it's just like you never want to touch water again. Absolutely terrifying. And just like all these people that are just like acting like nature is kind and gentle and beautiful. And then I'm out there seeing vultures pick apart corpses that were killed via, I don't know, let's call it some kind of bacterial infection. Literally being eaten alive by microorganisms. And this is just stuff that happens. Storms coming up and swallowing entire towns. reading anything about parasites will make you question the existence of God, I swear. Or at the very least, a kind and loving one. There's a lot of really messed up stuff out there, and I do not see nature as kind at all. I actually see civilization as far more kind. Because I just look here and I'm just... If certain people were left to nature, they would die, like, immediately. Whereas in society, in civilization, there are people out there that have made it their entire life's mission to make life better for disabled people that can't take care of themselves. This is not something that happens in nature. It isn't. And I think it's pretty cool. I'm glad that humans are capable of fighting nature to a degree and being able to make something better. This is where I like whenever I play factory games. I just look at all the places the forest used to be. And I'm like, you know what we put there? There's a nice little factory that's making science and stuff. So much better than just the trees. I guess in the end, there is a reason that I haven't forsaken humanity and moved to the Himalayas, because I've thought about it a few times. People are scary. But, I don't know. I still think that there's good in human nature and what humanity has been able to build and achieve. There's a lot of bad stuff too, but I still think there's a lot of good stuff. And when it comes to personal growth and whatnot, I stand by what I've said before. And being that, you know, I think one of the best ways to do it is to actually go out, interact, share ideas with people, assimilate their ideas into yourself, laugh at Taoism for calling water gentle, laugh at the environmentalists that think that nature is beautiful and kind and people are greedy and evil. That kind of thing. And I think that's where a lot of personal growth can come. So I guess I won't give up on people just yet. I'll give them a little bit more time. As I feel like the moment I do and the moment I just go hide in a dark cave for all eternity, it is probably the moment that I said, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to grow as a person anymore. It's possible that day may come, but I hope it takes a while. I hope society doesn't collapse. I hope society changes a little bit, but I hope it doesn't collapse. This is why, as much as I like plucky underdog revolutionaries in fiction, I can't get behind revolutions in real life. They always go very badly for everyone involved. Man, I just cannot get this ring to be shaped the way I want it to be. There's always just like something a little bit off in the curve and it's bothering me. Maybe I should get a stencil. Okay, no, there we go. That's a bit better. All I have to do is complain about it. There we go. See, this is the kind of thing especially that I'd like to get a little bit faster at, because I feel like I can just get really, really stuck on trying to get a curve just right. But at the same time, if I don't get it just right, it'll bother me. No. But I do feel like if I could speed up some of this part, my streams would just be so much better, because then you wouldn't have to watch me just being fixated on this tiny curve for a long time. I swear, half of my desire for artistic growth really is just the stream. See, that's why I say that interacting with people is like the best way to get personal growth. Because now I'm here thinking about, okay, will this be fun to watch? What can I do to make it more fun to watch? And then I think about it. I think about how to incorporate it into what I'm doing. And maybe what else I want to do. I'd still like to take better advantage of the interactivity that I think can come with streams. I haven't found my answer there yet. But I would like to do it someday. And I just realized that this curve is totally bad. Because of course I did. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it a lot. By the way, I do have a Marshmallow account now. I have the link down in the description. So if there's ever anything that you'd like to ask me, if it's interesting, I might answer it on stream. So far, I've just gotten people acting like it's my Discord DMs again, and that always makes me sad. But it's okay, you know, if it's something I can talk about, I will gladly talk about it. Or you could just ask me here. Look, sometimes it's hard to drunkenly ramble to myself for 3 hours, okay? And I never know if a lot of what I talk about is interesting to people. It's interesting to me. So I hope that someday people that also find it interesting will find me. Way better than talking about food. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's good enough. There we go. Now I can clean it up, and the ring will go behind the planet, and I absolutely should not keep this. So I'm going to talk about another composition thing. So you see how this ring here kind of shares a line with the texture on the planet here? Like, if I were to continue this line, it would be the same. Yeah, that looks terrible. Try to avoid stuff like this unless you know what you're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the planet here, and I am going to move this upward. Just all the way. It's terrible. I hate it. We're going to have this dark spot be up here now. There we go. Okay. Did I do this with a multiply brush? They're different colors. Fascinating. You know, I can believe it. I always forget how I did certain things. Do I even want that there? You know, I don't think I do. And actually, once we get into the southern hemisphere here, I need these lines to be going the other way. So yeah, let's get rid of that. That's something. Anyway, I need these lines to start going this direction. And I'll go ahead and keep the storm there. Do they even have the same kind of storm? Not really, but I think it looks good. I like Jupiter's storm. Gas giants have, like, the coolest storms ever, so. Alright, let's just kind of get the patterns down again, and then I can worry about cleaning it all up. Gotta get rid of that light spot there. Okay. I guess I decided that the center of the storm on this planet is bright. I can dig it. I'll go ahead and keep that idea, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna lightly refine this. Very lightly. I'll go in and smooth it all out once it's all done. But I just want to get kind of a lot of the basics in here. Huge storm. Wouldn't want to be down there. Well, that and... if the gravity here is anything like Jupiter, I would totally be dead. So, you know, that's something I'd at least like to avoid for now. Being alive is pretty alright, so I'll do my best to kind of keep it that way. Let's get some nice contrast in here. Have a few longer parts kind of sticking out. I'm not even referencing a picture here. I'm just doing this from a vague memory of what gas giant storms look like. And for this, I think that's fine. It's possibly even better than actually referencing it, because this is a fantasy planet. It is not real. And by keeping it strictly to what exists in my imagination, it'll be a little bit more fantastical. A little bit more fantasy. There are times and places for that. I think this is one of them. Even if I am a proud advocate for referencing many a thing. Anytime you don't know how to draw something, go find a reference, so this way you know what it looks like. You don't have to copy it, but you should try to understand what it is you're trying to draw. You'll have much better results if you do. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, something like that. I guess I'll go ahead and get the rings, too, while I'm here. Stretch. Stretch. Okay. Okay, so the rings. Let's clean those. I think where I have most of the things is fine. It's just extremely messy. Just needs a little bit of help. Be locked. Thank you. What does the actual one look like? Okay, yeah, I can draw what I want. Let's go. Just looking over, and it has energy of a generic ringed planet, which is totally fine. I just wanted to see if it had any very specific features, and it really doesn't. So that's why I say I can draw what I want, and it should look like the planet in the picture I'm referencing there. And we can be grateful that the physics in Variance are a little bit different, and that we get pretty sights like this without being torn apart by the gas giant's tidal forces or being sucked in by its gravity, because gas giants are extremely clingy. They are clingy and they don't want to let you go, and they will just suck you in. It's terrifying. That's why Jupiter has so many orbiters. Alright. Go around here. It's thicker on this side because this side's a bit closer, and also because I think it looks nice. There we go. And I'm gonna try to keep those dark colors on here. Start wrapping this around. I'm not gonna worry about keeping it clean for now. I will clean it in a bit. And then I can fixate on another new and exciting curve. As it's just a few degrees off from what I want and a little bit too blobby. Oh, hell yeah. I love drawing planet rings, though. They're so pretty. I can hardly believe that this is just like the world's biggest collection of space dust. Actually, thinking about it, I think a lot of the way that they work is similar to what I think makes falling snow really pretty. Of just light hitting individual particles and then those particles being reflective enough that the light starts bouncing off between them, and it's just really pretty. I think nature is terrifying, but it can indeed be very pretty. Space is also terrifying. It's okay, I think a lot of the prettiest things, or a lot of the nicest things like this, are indeed beautiful and terrifying. Okay. So now I'm gonna get some of the shadows in there. They're gonna follow kind of the same logic here. And it should all look very nice. I really like space. It's so nice. I'm not sure if I ever want to go there, but I like looking at it. I'm pretty happy on the ground for now. Even if space tourism became a thing, I'm still not sure if I'd really want to go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks fantastic. So cool. That'll be what I go with for this planet. So, yeah, now we just gotta clean it up. Man, and I'm realizing that the only thing I have left to draw once I finish the planet here are these clouds. The ones in the background. Or right now, they're largely just kind of light scribbles. All I really have to do is refine them. And that kind of thing is super easy. I wonder if I can finish this today. If I do, I will feel a little bit unprepared for Thursday, but I can fix that. The next one's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I want to do a style study and also draw some Katya's sable. Man, this is still really blobby around the edge, though. What the hell? Sorry, I gotta fixate on curves again. Look, curves are important. It's important when you're drawing cute anime girls, and it's important when you're drawing planets, okay? Round things must be round. Until you make them not round for, you know, one reason or another. Or for stylistic choices. Okay. I'll be glad when winter is done. Where I live, we very much get seasons, so the weather will probably start to change soon. And I'm looking forward to it. I live within walking distance of school, the school that I send my daughter to, and we've been walking. And I like walking her to and from school, but lately it's just been too cold to do it. I don't really want her to be walking in weather that cold. It gets a little bit better later in the day, so a lot of the time we can walk home from school still. But I want to walk her to school again. It's healthy for everyone. And it can be hard to find time to exercise. So I, for one, am looking forward to the weather getting warmer. That is the one weakness of being very much a computer person. And also digital art, is that I need to be sitting fairly still for long periods of time in order to draw things properly. And I can do it no problem. It doesn't bother me. But it's not exactly super healthy either. So I got to be very conscious of this. The unfortunate truth is that the body and mind are connected, and if I don't take care of the body, my mind will suffer, and I hate it. I just want to be a brain in a jar, okay? For me, being like a cyborg is one of the ultimate fantasies, because just plop my brain in a robot suit where it gets better diagnostics. I don't have to do things like exercise or any of that. I just, and then I can just sit like a lump all day, and it'll be fantastic. But can't do that. Maybe this is why I like being an anime girl on the internet. It is bringing me one step closer to my fantasy of not being an organic being. Yes. I'd like that a lot. But in the meantime, you know, walking kid to school is a great way to get a bit of exercise in the morning and the afternoon. And I can't just say, I don't feel like it, because it's not like I'm going to leave my kid at school. And trying to drive there in a car is a pure suffering. I don't know how parents deal with the chaos that is the pick-up drop-off area. No thank you. Walking is so much better. So there you go. Keeps me going. Keeps me moving. I don't want my body to rest, I guess. Kind of glad that I'm doing the rings first, because I do think that they will ultimately be the hardest part of what remains here. The rest seems pretty straightforward. And I thought for sure that I would have one more drawing session. But now I'm not so sure. I always forget how fast the background goes once I get into it. Even when I go relatively slowly. Because I'm talking and getting myself distracted. Or, you know, fixating on curves or whatever else that I do. But once the character's done, it's like everything else just comes together so quickly. And I'm always very surprised. So, you know, maybe that's a point. Maybe the big thing that I just need to work on if I want to be faster is just how to draw mostly faces faster. Yeah. I don't know. I'll draw some more headshots or something. I'm still thinking a lot about what to draw off stream. I've had some ideas. I tried to do one today, and I don't know, I just couldn't get it to work, so I pivoted to something else. But my interest in black and white drawings has been cropping up again, and so I was looking at some film noir. And it's so stylish. I like it. I like it so much. It's really, really, really cool. But unfortunately, a lot of my ideas would work better on a horizontal screen like this one. So, landscape instead of portrait, and that's not really good for YouTube shorts, which require me to be in a pretty extreme portrait. So I tried to wrangle it today and I got mad. It's okay. Design constraints is where creativity comes from, and I will probably try again. But I'm drawing something else for now. Hopefully I'll have that ready for Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. I was having trouble today. So I guess I might just draw more in the afternoon. Sounds good to me. I can get behind 6 to 8 hours a day drawing. I've always thought of what I should do for like other channel content, especially for shorts, and it's like I could clip streams or potentially some other easier stuff, but when it comes down to it, I also just really want to get good at drawing and draw fast. So I could spend more time doing things that I'm kind of ambivalent about, or I could draw more pictures. I'm not sure if my speed paint shorts would be as popular as me just saying random things, because, I mean, the couple of clips that I do have on there still get more views than my speed paint. Even though I posted them, like, over a year and a half ago at this point. But, choices are hard, you know? It is. It's, really hard to balance what I actually want to make with what I think will grow the channel more successfully. And part of me just always hopes that more art is a good way to do it, but I'm not sure. But at the very least, more art is fun to do, so that's why I keep doing it. Even if it is maybe a little bit more work and a little bit more stressful, it is infinitely more satisfying for me. I realize I've been talking a lot about behind the scenes of being a YouTuber, and I think I'm still a little frazzled by it all. It's alright, I'll figure it out. Alright, time to fixate on some curves. Well, I try not to pull myself into thinking too hard about numbers, because I hate thinking about numbers. Well, that's not true. I like thinking about numbers, but not YouTube numbers. Not numbers in the way people talk about them with VTubers. Okay, there we go. And I can tell that some of these colors aren't lining up quite right. I think it's fine for them to be a bit off, but I would like to make it look like these rings are still wrapping around it at least a little bit. Because, like, I think that's probably fine. Yeah, that seems fine. It doesn't even look super blobby at 100% or anything. Look, I'm doing my best not to get stuck on it, okay? It's really hard for me. Perfectionism is one hell of a drug, I swear. I can't stop. I can't. I've tried really hard. But I just want the things that I make to look good. So it's important. Okay, how am I gonna do this? I'm just trying to keep the distance between some of these things a little bit more consistent. Yeah, I shaved off a bit too much there, but here's good. There we go. You know, as always, there's not much to do other than just draw it. That's why I go much more pure stream of consciousness whenever it's rendering time. Because it's like, yep, those sure are rings. Look at them. They are round. Oh man. But, I can only say that so many times before even I start wanting to beat my head against the table. So... Okay. It's alright, we're almost there. Like I said, this is like the last big thing. Everything else from here on is gonna be a lot easier. The planet probably won't take very much out of me. And, of course, the sky is what I would call already 95% done. I just gotta make it a little bit more solid. I think I'm just gonna leave it soft. Like, I could use my hard brush to make all the clouds and stuff, but I think it will look better if I just leave it a little bit more fluffy. I'm not quite sure what I want to do about the gold stars. I think some of those will need some changes. I guess they might take a bit. It's okay. If I need one more day, that's fine. We can do a bunch of corrections. We can make things look as good as I can make it. And if I still just finish super early, then it'll just become a normal Zatsudon, and I'll just come up with things to say. And if I run out, well, worst thing comes to worst, I end stream early. It's fine. maybe you can join me in, reading the complete works of Ralph Waldo Emerson. He's been my next target. I want to see some of what he's had to say and how I feel about it. Whether I agree or disagree. I'm pretty sure his stuff is public domain at this point, so it should be safe to read on stream. The book I'm reading explicitly says that it's public domain, so... Okay. Oh man, light's flickering super hard again. So this line is, like, totally off, which is unfortunate. But it's okay. I can redraw that. I can. I'll just try to have it follow the curve of the one that came before it a little bit. And then it should all be well again. I was thinking about taking a break from doing the curves of the rings here and working on the planet a little, but nah. I'm feeling alright. I think I can just go ahead and finish it. Just touch up things as I feel like I need to and all that. I do think it looks really nice though. So it's all working out the way I'm hoping. That's why I don't want to get lazy. As much as it might be nice to rush to the finish line today, I don't want to get lazy. I don't want to rush. I want to go fast, but you can go fast without rushing. And more accurately, I want to learn how to go fast without rushing. Meaning, I'm not super great at it yet. But it is still my #1 goal for this year. Go fast. Be faster. Well, I'm gonna have to connect that line. That's alright. I do like the way I handled the curve here, though, so I will adjust around that. See, getting there. Okay. Yeah, and indeed, I do think it's following the curve a bit better, so I'm going to adjust this side as well. Try to keep it a good width. Have it all make sense in that regard, and keep this just a little bit more parallel. There we go. Gonna draw the best space dust ever. It's gonna be great. Definitely have to draw more space in the future. I really like drawing it, and it has been such a long time since I have. Such a long time. You know what? I did start a picture for my weekly shorts already. But maybe I'll save that one for the end of the week. I have an idea for one that I like, and it involves space, which I can draw very quickly. So, you know what? I think I might draw that first. I'll see if I regret my life choices. But I think I can do something nice there. They have... the Variance people have been streaming for 6 months now, and I think I can draw a nice space-based congratulatory image. So let's just draw a lovely night sky. I like that idea. It'll just be a nice, simple little speed paint. But I think that's good for a congratulatory image. I don't think those need to be super big and complicated. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that after stream. Thanks, rubber duckies. Thanks for just letting me think through what I want to be doing. I appreciate it. All right. So, you know, back to curves. Still wanting to make sure they're nice and curvy. But I think it's looking pretty good. And I can see that I erased a big old thing there, which probably accurate because I do agree that they're getting a little bit too close together here. So I want it to be a little thicker on the bottom side and shave off a little bit of the top side so I can send them a little bit further apart from each other. There we go. Try to keep this distance between them a little bit more consistent. And I think, actually, before I finish this curve, I think I want to do this bottom one because I want it to be clear where this guy should be going. So, just due to the perspective on the rings here, I do want them to be a little bit closer to the edge over here. That's also why they're a little bit thicker as I go around the bend here. Just more perspective shenaniganry. There we go. So just, you know, holding my breath while I do that curve. So this way, hopefully, my hand stays a little bit steadier. It's helping. It is. Kind of moving it around just a touch to get the shape that I want. And as it rounds the bend here, I do think I have it a little bit too close right now. So I'm going to push it just a little bit further back. But I do like them getting just a little bit closer to the edge here. Just due to how I picture the rings looking as they're tilted a little bit. As they start coming a little bit closer to the viewer. And that kind of thing. So that's largely what I'm thinking about there, and that's why it's not completely consistent. I think it would actually be a little bit boring looking if it was completely consistent all the way around. boring and frankly wrong. The boring part is the more important part, though, because, how to say, you know, it's what I've been talking about lately, where I'm focused. I'm trying to focus more on what looks good rather than what is accurate. So, that's why I always try to use words like that to describe it. Because I just want to chase what looks good, as opposed to what would happen in real life. To an extent, I have to chase what happens in real life, just so that it looks like the thing, and it doesn't look awkward. But I still just want to chase rule of cool as much as I can. As much as humanly possible. All right. Go around. There we go. This looks much more consistent now. And then I just gotta extend it a little further this way. Keep it consistent with the other side and with the thickness that I want it to have. And then that should do it. This is like the last one. And then I guess there might be a little bit more at the end, just because I do have to get the lighting on here still. That might take a second. But that's okay. I'm gonna finish off the whole planet first. So we'll be able to draw that nice big storm on our gas giant here. And I do look forward to that. I love space. It is wonderful. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty all right. Let me just kind of round things out here a little bit more. A little bit on both of those, and you know what? I think that is fine. Yeah, those look pretty nice. Let's go to the planet. This part is at least going to be a little bit easier because I don't have any curves to fixate on here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm glad I got to talk a little bit about the madness of art lately. I think it's nice because actually, you know what? I think this applies to more than just art, but I think sometimes people chase things that they think will make them happy. And the grass always ends up greener on the other side, where it's just like, yeah, I just need to learn anatomy and proportion, and then my art will look good, and I'll be happy. Or, I just need to get $100 million, and then I'll be happy. Or, you know, $100,000, and then I'll be happy. But those numbers, will always go up, and when it comes to art, there will always be more you want to learn. There will always be something that doesn't feel quite right, or that you think you could portray better. And as you get good, you'll start seeing more and more problems. And then when it comes to material possessions, it'll never be enough. Never. So, I think in order to enjoy a lot of these things, you just gotta be happy with what you're doing and what you have, and to an extent, just embrace the madness within, and just know that sometimes your brain is going to say mean things to you. And why artists tend to be a little bit crazy. More than a little bit, actually. Artists are wild. So here, I'm trying not to change the shapes too much. I just kind of don't want them to be quite so blobby and ugly. So, I'm just smoothing. Just smoothing. I have particular shapes in mind here, so I'm just gonna smooth them out, and it should be all good. Because these big storms are somewhere between cloud and death, I guess. So I just want to give those kinds of little impressions, and you can see that for the bands of different colors going around, I'm using slightly different shapes than I am for the storm itself. And I don't mind if there's a little bit of blobbiness to some of this. They don't have to be perfect rings. They don't have to be perfect shapes. But they do need to have a particular quality that I'm looking for, and as for what that quality is, who knows? I know it when I see it. I'm trying to get better at describing these things, so normally I do try to describe them, but here it's like, yeah, I know it when I see it. That's always the nice thing about drawing, is that it's easy to say that. And generally it's fine to say that. You just see it, and it just feels right. And all is well. And again, I am very deliberately doing this without reference, so I don't actually know what Jupiter looks like. And let me tell you, you never know what something looks like until you try to draw it. That is just a universal truth, because drawing is really hard. Extremely hard. And it's just hard to know all of the details that you need, and pretty much every detail is important in order to get the right impression. You don't necessarily have to draw realistically, but even a slight change can alter the impression drastically, so I've always found art kind of fascinating in that regard. I have noticed so many more things about the world ever since I started just Little things, like the way sunlight filters through trees. The way a highlight on plastic looks different from highlight on metal. Small things. It's fascinating. The world is just so interesting. So many little things in it that I don't think most people ever really notice. We don't notice a lot of really good things. And humans in general have a pretty strong negativity bias. But so many wonderful, beautiful little things out there that I just think don't get the appreciation that they deserve. Sun going through trees, patterns on fish. Lots of little things. I'm always really happy to try to capture some of those things. Light is a big one for me, because I really like drawing nice lighting. I mean, you can look at this picture and just see the kinds of things that I like. And that's one place where looking at art can be really interesting, because you can learn so much about a person just by seeing what they like to draw and how they do it. And it's just all very interesting. I decided I wanted this dark spot to go out a little further. Arbitrary decision made. It's fine. And I'm just gonna leave the curtains on. I'm not gonna hide them for now. I thought about it a couple of times, but I think I want to keep this in the state that it'll be once I finish it. And so it's just a little bit easier to keep the curtains on. This way, hopefully, I don't spend too much time rendering a bunch of stuff that doesn't really matter. Because, you know, that sounds like something I'd do if I turned off the curtains. It does. It really does. Yep. Okay, yeah, it looks like I'm probably just gonna finish off the planet here and stop, and we'll finish the rest of the sky and everything on Thursday. But I do think that the picture will be done on Thursday. And I'll probably have lots of extra time to talk about this picture and, you know, maybe just Variance Project in general, because I kind of like what they're doing. They are making me want to try some new and exciting things too, so... yeah. Thursday should be fun. I like the days that I finish the picture. Then I get to look at it, and it's like, Finally, everything in my head is out in the open. It's fantastic. Yeah, just a couple of bands here, then I'll do the lighting for it. I worked pretty hard on getting the lighting right in the early part of the stream, so should be nice and straightforward to just go finish off this planet, and then I can fixate on cloud shapes all time. Next time. great. Take my time on them. I think clouds are one of those things where, because they can look like anything, so many people just will, like, grab a stamp and draw the clouds that way, or photo bash it, or whatever else. But I actually like drawing. I do. Because then they can be lovely individuals. They're kind of unique character, and I can control the flow and the shape very nicely, and well, personally, I just think it's a good time. Sometimes I think the people that just don't draw clouds and only photo bash it or use a brush or something, I think they're missing. It would definitely save me some time, but still, I think that's fun. I think it's fun to actually properly draw clouds. I've been watching a lot of time lapses on Twitter lately, and I am just always very disappointed by the number of people that photo bash their backgrounds instead of actually drawing them. It's like, I know it can be inconvenient, but it's nice and it's a good time. But I think part of, like, it doesn't bother me when people do it at all. Sometimes I think it's a little unfortunate, but, not really. It's not a problem. But the reason I don't like to do it just has to do with part of the reason I learned how to draw in the first place. Because when I got started, I was trying to make pictures of my original characters. And I initially started by editing pictures of them together. But, you know, eventually it kind of got really hard. Sometimes I couldn't find the right image, and sometimes it would just be a little bit off. So I learned how to draw, so that this way I wouldn't have to rely on finding something close, and I could just handle it all myself. So the idea of using pre-made assets and stuff, and just there being something that I can't draw, bothers me on a fundamental level. But this is a personal problem, not a moral judgment on anyone. There's nothing wrong with using outside resources in your drawing. There's nothing wrong with drawing over 3D models or whatever else helps you. It's just not something I want to do, because the thought of having to rely on there being an asset to draw something that I want is just, it just sounds terrible to me. It makes me very sad. It goes against everything that made me want to draw in the first place. So I just don't do it. It does not make me sad at all when other people do it. It's strictly a me thing. The closest I get to being a little bit sad is just when people say that they do it because they're afraid of doing it on their own or something. You know, something along those lines. Okay, there we go. And that is the planet smoothed, and I think it looks fantastic. So let's get the shadows in there now. Get the shadows and the highlights. Gonna grab my colors. And then I'm just gonna go in and paint the rest of this. Nice and easy. Yeah, I already think I have the lighting mostly the way I want it, so I do think it is mostly just a case of smoothing. Let's see, I think I do want this to kind of come down and around like this. Just because I like the idea of a little bit of color contrast on the rings. But otherwise, you know, this is about what I want, so. Just something to make the planet look a little rounder. Kind of minimize the edges a little bit. Easy stuff. There we go, and then here... Let's see, I kind of like the shape I got here. Let's just smooth that out. And then what I think I'm gonna do, actually, is, I think I want the dark parts of the rings to have just slightly longer shadows. And the light parts of the ring to have just slightly shorter shadows. I think that'll look nice. You can see I'm not pushing it out too far. Just a small difference, but I think it looks nice. Just one of those little things. And then I'm just rounding out the rest of it just so it's not quite so stark. Okay. So there we go. That's the shadows. Let's get the light. The light I'm keeping very simple. And once again, not really going to have it moving around with the shapes on the planet. It's not really how that works. So it's just going to light up the side there. There we go. And then on the rings, I don't want it to be hitting the backside. So I'm just going to do it like that. It's only going to hit the front. And then it just kind of tapers off into the side here. There we go. And that's good. That's all I really need there. So let's see, I do have 20 minutes here, but I think I'll go ahead and stop it there. I think I can be happy with the progress for today. So I corrected some lighting, and then I did just all the background elements, sans clouds. So next time there's going to be lots of clouds. And stars. I want to do the nice stars too. So next time, finishing it off. And then after that, I get to do a bunch of color correction. We get to just make everything pop out more and make everything look really nice. I'll talk about some of the super basic things I do just for some post-production to make things nice. I have a couple of things that I want to do to this one in particular that I think will make it look really cool. So, I think it just needs a couple more things before I can really call it done. No details or anything. Just some small, easy-to-do lighting shenanigans that'll just look great. So, I hope you look forward to seeing that. But I will stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.